Today we're in the magnificent St. John's Church in Chester. This body of the church is called the nave, and the term nave stems from the Latin navis, which means ship, because the nave of a church is said to look like an upturned ship. Here in St. John's, what we have are massive stone pillars topped by round arches. These date from after 1080 with the arrival of the Normans, bearing in mind the Battle of Hastings had been 1066. Above these fantastic Norman arches are a different architecture in what's called the Triforium, and they date from around 1200. And above that is yet a different style of architecture, and that dates from the mid-1200s, so mid-13th century. The church is built of local red sandstone, and it is likely that much of the sandstone came from the Roman amphitheatre, because the masons would have thought, why quarry when there were fantastic blocks of Roman masonry around? Some of the sandstone will have also come from a large quarry, which is now a bowling green to the south of the church. This magnificent interior contrasts to the exterior of the church, which is largely a Victorian restoration, so that's late 19th century. The correct name of the church is the Church of St. John the Baptist. And behind me, on one of the massive stone pillars, is a fresco that portrays St. John. This dates from the mid-1300s, so the mid-14th century. St. John was a key figure in Christianity. It is he who baptized people in the River Jordan, including Jesus, who he recognized as the Messiah. There's a lot of red paint on the fresco. This is a form of undercoat, and it would have been covered by gold leaf. And you can imagine in medieval times how stunning that would have looked in the candlelight. The Norman church replaced an earlier Saxon minster. That was founded in 689 by King Ethelred of Mercia. The king had had a dream, and in that dream he had seen a deer, a white hart, and it was foretold that when he saw that in reality, he should establish the church on that spot. He came to Chester, saw the white hart, and established the Church of St. John the Baptist. Indeed, it may have been on the site of an earlier Christian place of worship. King Ethelred is depicted in a window by the stained glass artist Trina Cox, which dates from around 1929. The Saxon church was also associated with a key event in English history. In 973, King Edgar, who had recently been crowned in Bath, came to Chester and was rowed up the Dee by 8 kings in recognition of him being their overlord. And he then came for a service in St. John the Baptist. That story is depicted in the great west window of St. John's. St. John's was much larger than it is today. Indeed, for a time it was a cathedral church. The church today is flanked by ruins both to the west and to the east. To the west are the remains of a once massive tower. This collapsed in 1881 and, among other things, damaged the porch of the church. It's thought that the tower may have been weakened, at least in part, by St. John's being used as the siting of a battery of cannon when the city was bombarded by parliamentary forces during the English Civil War in 1645. To the east are the ruins of the Lady Chapel and other chapels, and these result from when the larger church was abandoned in the 16th century. Today, above eye level in these ruins is a long abandoned, lidless but empty coffin in which the words "dust to dust" are inscribed. A stark reminder of the fate of us all. However, St. John's has not been reduced to dust, and it is a wonder worth venturing into.